So here's what I wanted to come aboard and talk about today. There's this little thing I've been noticing from the small YouTubers, the gig tubers, whatever you want to call them. They are online, they're just starting in the last few months, but they're not growing. Why is that? Why do you think a gig tuber who's just starting out isn't getting to that level that gets them the subscriber count, gets them the view count, gets them anything that they're looking for to grow their business? Now, I say business, not technically making money off of this yet. Hopefully they do soon, but they are growing a channel and starting out from scratch. How do you do that? And why are these smaller gig tubers not grasping the growability and sustainability of their channel? Let's talk about that for a second. So one of the things that I want to bring up, and I've talked about this in my live stream plenty of times already. If you're not part of the live stream, you may want to go check it out, because we do a daily or semi-daily live where we talk about almost anything under the sun gig-wise. So DoorDash and Instacart, Walmart, Spark, Uber Eats, which maybe not really of a discussion, Grubhub, which definitely is not in the discussion, but hey, if you have a question, maybe it pertains to your market, you should come onto our live stream and talk about those factors and those issues and those apps and anything you want to bring up. So, I've seen a lot of YouTubers, they have about maybe 20, 30, or even 40 subscribers. I've seen one at about under 100, but they've been doing the channel for a few months. Here are 3 things. I'm just going to give you 3 tips. Anyone who's out there doing any YouTube channel, but particularly if you're doing a gig channel, here's the 3 things you should be doing right this second that's going to help you increase not only subscribers, but people who actually want to watch your content. Number 1, and I think this is very, very, very important. I put this at the number 1 spot, but I also want to bring this up first. And that is, you have to be you. But you have to elevate it just a little bit. I'm not saying don't be you. I'm not saying to be someone else. I'm not saying to exaggerate yourself so much, but you gotta turn it up a little bit. You gotta turn up the volume just a little. If you can do that, not only are you going to bring out your self-confidence, but you're also going to be able to tell a story with your audience in such a way that it isn't so monotonous or boring. Let me tell you, for example, the basic job, we say job, of a gig worker is what? We're in a car, we wait for an order. We go to the restaurant when we pick up an order, and we drop it off. It's the same cycle over and over and over and over and over again. For what? 8, 10 hours? Or if you're part-time, 3, 4, 5 hours? What are you providing to that audience where they want to watch you? That is going to be where you need to focus on. It's being you. You don't want to be someone else. You don't want to be another gig tuber who does this for a full-time job, but at the same time, you want to elevate that just a little bit more so you can build an audience. I think that is the number 1 key. They try to be someone they're not, and that is the problem. And people, this audience, the entire audience, can read that. They can see that, they understand that, and then they shut you off. Or they hit the subscribe, and then they watch a video and they say, maybe it's not for me. There's other YouTubers out there who are really, really not just energetic. I'm not saying you have to be super smiles all the time. You don't have to be super energetic all the time, but take your personality and turn that dial just a hair, and then keep turning that dial until you get to the right measurement where you're starting to get that audience. Number two, I think people focus way too much on the subscriber count before they even get started with content. And you might be putting a video out there and thinking it's the best thing since sliced bread. And unfortunately, you might think that, but your audience thinks otherwise. So what do? Well, for one, for what I do is I rewatch my videos and I find if I was an outsider, how would I view this video? How would I take the information that's being presented? It's all about the presentation. Are you making it so monotonous and so bland that it's just watching someone in a car or whatever you're doing? If you're on a bike, if you're walking, if you're on a motorcycle, if you're in the truck or in a car, whatever you're doing, it's eventually going to get boring. So what kind of content are you providing to your audience? If it's just dashing or just Instacart shopping and that's all you show, you're not showing much that the millions of other dashers and YouTube channels and gig tubers are already doing. What's going to make you separated from all the rest of YouTube channels out there doing the exact same thing? Look back at your content. Maybe you want to tell a story. Maybe you want to have an idea of what you're going to do. Not scripted out. There's no scripting here. But plan it out in advance. Have a goal in mind. Hey, today I'm going to talk about this. Today I want to have the stream about this. If you have that in mind, something that's also interesting for your audience, man, that audience is going to want to come back because you're providing something in return. And number three, I see this so often. Where is your audience? Where is your audience watching you right now? Now, they are most likely watching in just, well, there's three different ways. They are watching you on a TV, which has the YouTube app. They're watching you on a computer, or they're probably watching, which is most likely the case, on a phone or a tablet. So if they're watching you in those three places, cater to your audience. Don't try to force the content. Try to bring that content to the people who are watching you. In your settings, and you can look and deep dive into your analytics, but if you know that most people are coming from a mobile device, maybe you want to focus on mobile content. And what I mean by that is instead of being horizontal that we're at right now, you can be more vertical. And vertical streaming, if that's live or just long form content, might work out for you. It's different. Everyone is horizontal. Almost everyone is filming on a horizontal. If you filmed vertically, now you're catering to the mobile audience. Makes a big difference when you're watching on a mobile device. Now, there's plenty of other tips I could give you if you are interested in a full range of things that you can do for your gig channel. Please give this video a like, a subscribe, if you could. Comment on what you think you could do better in your gig streams, in your gig tube channel. And if you want to know more, just let me know. But in the meantime, I hope you make that money.